Hello, this is my June wrap up. These are all the books I read in June, but honestly I am not feeling this wrap up. I just don't have a lot to say, and I also haven't had a chance to sit down and write proper like thorough reviews for all these books in my reading journal, which is how I normally keep track and like remember everything and like stick the important bits into my memory. So like, yeah, it's not surprising I don't have a lot to say. So I thought I'd do a trend that I've seen going around TikTok, which is like, I don't even know what it's called, but it's basically like, would you recommend this book to someone, with a yes, maybe, or a no. Obviously this is long form content, not short form, so I will also be telling you like at least a reason why, like why I feel that way, whatever my answer is for each book. And yeah, that's going to be it. Hopefully this works as like a wrap up idea. I'm hoping you'll at least get an idea of what I've read and get an idea of if I think they're good enough to recommend or not. In June I read 19 books, which was 7,997 pages. I had one 5-star, 2 4.5 stars, but the majority of my reading in June were 6 2-star reads, which probably explains why I have so little to say and why I really, you know, don't care to talk about them. So let's just get into it. Would I recommend you the books I read in June? Mind to Possess, maybe. If you've enjoyed the first 3 books in this series, then yes, you will enjoy this one too. And this one really expands on our knowledge of the world as well, so it definitely gives us more information that we're looking for. Rewind it back, yes, but I would say I would really recommend reading the rest of the books in this series first, because I do think you'll get more out of this if you know Rio better as a character, and you do get to know him in the first 4 books before we get to this one. Hat trick. Yes, this is my first ever 5-star romance, but again, highly recommend reading the first 3 books in this series first to get the most out of this. Basically, I already liked these characters in Hat Trick before even starting this book, and I definitely think that added to my enjoyment. All I need, maybe. Honestly, this one was not for me, but I can see it working for others. The child in this story is a very big part of the book. Also, the structure of this romance and how it's going to turn out and how it's going to work was just really obvious. So yeah, do that what you will. Only with you, maybe, but only if you were liking these 2 characters in book 1 and you were intrigued as to what their story could be. Book player, no, but maybe it's a maybe. I picked this one up because I was intrigued enough by one of the main characters in this one from what I'd seen in the other books in the series. But in reality, when I look at it, none of this series has actually been good. For me personally, all of this series is just going to be like meh. I wanted more out of them than I've got with every single book, and I feel the same now. I don't think there's going to be more books in this series, but if there were, I would not be picking them up. So yeah. Hostage to Pleasure, maybe. I personally really enjoy this Side Changeling series and find it so fun. And again, I think it's one where if you've enjoyed the first 4 books in this series, then you will enjoy this one too. Branded by Fire is a maybe for the exact same reasons as the previous book. However, I will also say that up until this point, this book, Branded by Fire, was the book that I had the most fun with out of all of them in the Side Changeling series so far. Beautiful Venom, maybe. This is dark, and it's a dark romance, so you do need to check trigger warnings, which is like a massive reason to say maybe in of itself. I found this a really good read and exactly what I wanted at the time that I read it. I'm definitely interested in continuing on this series when it gets continued, and I'm trying to keep those thoughts separate from my next thoughts, so let's move on to those. So basically, I found out that Beautiful Venom was book 34 in the Renaverse, and I wanted to start from the start, and honestly I wish I hadn't. Like I do wish I hadn't. So let's just do all of these together. Cruel King, Deviant King, Steel Princess, Twisted Kingdom, Black Knight, Vicious Prince, Ruthless Empire. I am doing all of these together, and unfortunately the answer is no. I would not recommend these. They weren't good. there was nothing. You didn't get any payoff from this. Like, all the bullshit and all the bad in them, like, it wasn't worth dealing with because there was no payoff. And I didn't like any of the characters in any of these books. I really struggled with this. And yeah, this does make me nervous about continuing on with the Beautiful Venom series, because I thought I enjoyed book one, but like, what if it actually wasn't good? What if I was just in the headspace for like a silly book at that time? I don't know. I really don't know. But yeah, that's my feelings. And you might ask, if they were all bad, why did you continue? I don't know. In all fairness, I did DNF the last book in the series. It was like, I can't remember what it was called, but it was something like extended epilogue. And I got 23%. I can still remember now. This was well over a week ago, and I can still remember now. I got 23% in, and I was like, I actually can't do this anymore. But in between the last book I finished of the series and the extended epilogue thing, there'd been over a week, and I think I might have just been in a bit of a pit and was just accepting these books in that pit. Blaze of memory. Maybe. Once again, if you've enjoyed the first 6 books in this series, you will enjoy this one too. And this one adds a new element into this world, like this Psy changeling world. We've learned a lot about the Psy, a lot about the changelings, but there is kind of like a Psy human part of the world as well. Obviously I can't say too much, this book's 7 in a series, but yeah, this book does tell us more about that we didn't know previously, and I really enjoyed getting that extra knowledge from this one. A Natural History of Dragons, I think yes. Although this was only 4 stars for me, I still think this is a yes in terms of would I recommend it, because it was so different to absolutely anything that I'd ever read before. This book for me really was, and it really did live up to, because I'd heard this previous, this book for me is what I wished the Emily Wilde books were. So yeah, this really worked for me. I really enjoyed it and I had a great time. So I would definitely say, like, it is so different to anything else I've ever read. Give it a go. And if you already have given it a go and you're like, that's not different to everything else I've ever read, there's these other books that are like it, let me know in the comments down below, because I would definitely like to read more like this. And last but not least, Echo 4. I think I'd also have to say yes to this one too, but it is book 2 in a series, so obviously you would need to read book 1 first. This is like an actual series, so you do need to read book 1 first. But I love this. It's so different to Zodiac Academy, but it works so well, and every single character in this is so interesting. Yeah, I would highly recommend it. I actually really would. So yeah, that's that one. Those were all of the different books that I read during June. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. I know it's a bit of a different one, but I think that this way of doing a quick wrap up really worked for this month, and it was really what I needed to still be able to talk a little bit about the books, but have it a bit more quick and rapid fire. Obviously I will eventually get round to writing reviews in my reading journal, and then I'll transfer those reviews to be non-spoiler reviews for Goodreads. So I will eventually update Goodreads with how I felt about all these books if you want more in-depth reviews. I'm just very far behind on that. If you did like the video, please do give it a like, subscribe down below if you'd like to see more content like this, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Bye.